Hi everybody, welcome back to the Alva Smiling Faces podcast. And we've swapped Mark with Stephen Best.
Alright. It's hard. I've not got any meal deal.
I
did have a meal deal for my lunch a days ago. Like,
did you?
Aye.
What sort of sandwich did you have?
I had spicy chicken.
Spicy chicken?
Baguette.
Baguette.
I'm just elongating the kind of shaft of the baguette there. Just for the
baguette.
Just for the you know.
What drink did you have?
Fanta Zero, because I didn't have any Cokes.
Right, okay.
And I'm trying to watch the calories.
And what crisp? Did you go for the crisp or did you go for the snack?
I tell you what Morrison's do it now. It's a snack thing. It's prawns with sweet chilli dip.
Alright, okay.
Prawns, I was going to them. It's like, what me and some lads at work do is try and get the most expensive items. Because it's always £3.50.
Scotch eggs. Scotch eggs are always a good choice from Morrison's.
I like them, but they're lush, but 75 pence, and this was like 175 for this thing. You get that with an instant smoothie and like a deli sarnie.
So you go for
you're saving like £4.
Yeah.
It's I mean, one of the lads at work gets stuff that he doesn't even like, just to save money. That's what I had. That was my meal deal.
Sounds like Mike Ashley, this one.
So yeah, at the weekend we saw Newcastle get handed a lesson by Norwich, and we've got the task of talking about it right now.
Oh, we can talk about it. Right.
So I'm sure we'll get something out there. I'm sure we've got a lot of things to say about a bit of everything in regards to the game. Leading into the game, first of all, I know me and you were pretty confident going into this one. We couldn't see a defeat.
What a dick.
So what did you say? So you've got a soft spot for Norwich, haven't you?
Oh, I lived down there for a couple of years. I have.
Oh, that's right. When we went to Norwich, where you were there.
I was I'm there coaching horses.
That's right. Yeah.
The world's smallest bar with the most amount of people in it.
It opens out towards the back a little bit. It's a good little bar. It's a good boost out coaching horses. Like I should.
It's quite a big beer garden at the front as well, isn't it?
It has.
Yeah.
It's good. Not too far from the stadium either. It's a good away day pub. For all I have got a soft spot for Norwich. Like I was absolutely. My piss was boiling. I'd like to see them finish like second every season as long as we finish top.
Yeah.
Pre-game though, what did you think?
Didn't fancy it. We've got a shite record. We've not won down there since 1994, I think.
Yeah, you're right. We are terrible.
That is true, and it's something that we didn't really speak about on the prediction. How bad our record was.
I've been to Carrow Road, I think 6 times. Watched Newcastle, and I've not seen them win yet.
Really?
Aye.
That bad?
One of the ones I've heard. I'm not talking about performance yet. It's been heard. This was the Rafa one. When it was 2-2 and then we're going to be 3-2, I think. Then
when I think Jonas Olsen scored late down.
Yeah, really
towards the end of that season, the relegation season, wasn't it?
Committing a stupid foul and
he was horrible as well.
That was an awful one to take that one because I think obviously it was relegation season. That point would have might have really helped and we ended up getting nothing. So it was.
But when the games I've been down there was one where I think it was Pardew played 4 right backs in defence. It was Simpson, Santon, Perch, and I forget who else it was, but it was like I've never had a nice after. I love Norwich, it's a beautiful city. I don't mind the Norwich fans. I'll walk through the city and have it be in the accent kind of. It's very apparent that I'm a Newcastle fan, and there's never any bother. But I was there a couple of years ago when Remy got sent off and Bradley Johnson did something to Remy. Remy got sent off. It was
head. The one head-to-head was the game before the derby.
It was, and Remy was suspended and Johnson got his rescinded.
Yeah.
And good things don't happen at Carrow Road.
Yeah.
Last time I was down there was in the Championship, and I saw they had them cardboard
clappers.
And I saw some Newcastle fan probably having a go, and literally like a 6-7-year-old Norwich fan. He was like trying to grab it off and that. I'm thinking, fucking, we're horrible. It was.
Did you say 6 or 7 or 67?
6 or 7. Like I think it was a brain.
And is that the one when Darlow did that? Just ridiculous.
Yeah, it was Darlow and the Cells thing.
Yeah. On the subject of that, I think the first goal, the Bravka should do far better. I've watched it a few times now, and I didn't know at the time. I thought I got called harsh on it for saying it on Twitter. If Tim Krul concedes that, he's got Kris Packard hands.
Yeah.
For me, it's a good volley. It's a great volley by Pukki. Don't get us wrong. But for Darlow to get that much of a hand on it, Dubravka to get that much of a hand on it, and it does. I mean, if you get that much hand on it, you shouldn't be conceding. All I can think is he's seen the post and thought, "Fuck, I'm going to hurt myself here," and he hasn't quite committed to it. But it's
you've jumped ahead here, mate.
Oh, sorry,
he's away.
No,
he's away.
Sorry, I thought I was on True Faith there for a second.
He's away. That's a second mention in 2 weeks. Neil done it last week.
I know. That's right. I wasn't good. I thought I'd get it in.
Don't get this many laughs out there, mate. So, start lineup. There's a few interesting ones on there.
Yeah, there was.
So, Longstaff had been dropped, and on the prediction, Emil said that he was expecting Longstaff to get dropped on that one.
I don't think for the reasons that he got dropped. I think he was not you.
So he's protecting him.
Emil was thinking that like he'd be dropped because he wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
But I think from what I read and had heard that he got dropped because he's had such a bad injury. That is a bad injury.
Yeah. No, it is.
And I don't think Bruce thinks that he was up to the speed to start, which You know,
The one that shocked me was Manquillo,
it's a disgrace, that one.
who
It's
hasn't had a bad pre-season. He's been pretty decent
He wasn't too
pre-season.
bad towards the end last season.
No,
When he came in,
he wasn't. And
He's not a fan. No one really likes him. But
Of course
we
not.
haven't really got a huge problem with him either.
Nah,
we just don't
nah.
really like him, if that makes sense.
So I'm not sure why he was dropped. Obviously, there was nothing wrong with him because he had the place on the bench.
yeah.
It's all wrong. For him.
So where does that come from? Is it because it's a new signing brought in? He thinks we'll stick you on, see what you can do.
Yeah.
It seems that way. I mean, it just seemed. I mean, I didn't see the whole game, and I mean, I was reading the review that or the ratings that the Sunday Sun gave, and Kraft got 4 out of 10. And from what I saw, I thought that's a little bit harsh. But then all 3 of the goals, he's
there.
somewhere.
He's there and shot.
It's like the 5-0 Newcastle Man U game.
Yeah.
Every goal, David May's somewhere in the mixer.
Yeah.
And it's like if you're conceding 5 goals and you're in the frame for everyone.
Yeah, you're somewhere
doing something
around
wrong.
shot.
And that's kind of what Kraft had on Saturday.
I see a few things. Or do you want to go to the rest of the team first before we go into his performance?
So the rest of the team was pretty. Well, it was the same. It was only those two changes, wasn't
There's
it?
one player I never want to see play again, but we'll get them. Ever again.
Ever.
We'll get there though. Keep going.
Jesus Christ!
Ever
I'm really
again.
intrigued to see who this one is like.
Ever again.
Oh, I think I know who it is. Right.
Fair enough.
I think I do.
Who do you think?
Are you talking about Key?
Absolutely.
Oh, I was going to say.
Oh,
I was
mate,
gonna say,
he couldn't find a dildo in a sex shop. Him,
I
like.
never want to see him
Honestly.
play again. Never again.
He was poor for a player that comes in and that needs to prove that he can do something. He was shocking.
I knew within 5 minutes what we were in for with his performance.
I'm on my second can already.
Never-
We're 2 minutes in.
Never ever never try to run it and close anyone down. Total passenger for 90 minutes. Total passenger. Absolutely embarrassing performance that. And I mean, a lot of them were poor, but for me, I couldn't even give him a 1. I couldn't even give him a 1. He was
That bad?
absolutely dreadful from minute 1, all the way through.
And honestly, until I read in the papers this morning over the weekend, I forgot he was playing. Watching the game, I didn't know he was playing.
I think he forgot he was playing. Honestly, mate, I swear to God, like I've got no problem with someone. You know, let's just say Almiron, for example. Almiron was trying to make things happen. Right, he had a terrible game. He played terrible.
He did.
But he's busy. At least he's wanting the ball. He's coming deep to try and get the ball and turn and make things happen. Key did 0. Did nothing, man. Did nothing. It's one of them. You know, you see a lot of players do it where they're like. They'll run as if I look like I'm trying to close him down.
Like what
But
Perez
not
normally does at the start of the season.
Yeah.
Well, kind of.
That was what I used to do. I'd make sure I was marked.
Make sure you move to someone else.
In a 90-minute game, like, after 10 minutes, like, I can't be arsed with this. They want to get me 3 now. I was like, oh, no, I'm marked, lads. Gone past this.
I honestly, I can't tell you how disappointed I was in Key because I know he's a better player than that.
Yeah.
But fuck him.
So formation-wise, it was exactly the same formation as what it was the week before against Arsenal.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And let's be honest, the Arsenal game, they played okay in the first half.
Well, the first half was canny
it was
against
probably
Arsenal,
better
right?
okay than the first half. They played. You wouldn't have seen the difference between the team last season and the team this season in that first half, in that first 45 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair. Like,
Yeah, I agree.
So then you go into this game and it's completely different from the
first half.
Yeah.
It was a continuation of the second half. For me, the second half against Arsenal, particularly, I would say after they scored, you didn't know what the shape was in the team.
Yeah.
I'm loath to mention who was here before Bruce, but with the team last season, let's say, you knew like what the players seemed to know what their jobs were and where they were meant to be. The second half of the first game against Arsenal and the entirety of the Norwich game, no one seemed to have a clue what was where they were meant to be. There was one goal, it was Norwich's third, where Kraft's pretty deep, like shares up on halfway line, and Lascelles is out there, and there's no semblance of a back line.
So it starts even way before that in the opening 10 minutes. Norwich have a chance where Pookie gets out once again. He's running towards the byline. Nothing's going to happen. Absolutely nothing. Somehow he gets it into the box. I think someone puts a challenge in and it's a complete shite challenge. It gets out of there.
Shea
Is that who it was?
Goes to ground in the box, sliding tackles for no reason whatsoever. You could have just ushered him, along the line in a way. Tries to dive in. He could have went down him, I thought.
Yeah.
But he didn't. He crosses it, and then in fairness to Kraft here, Kraft has come from full-back to be pretty much a left centre half almost on the goal line. But what I will say about Kraft here, I've seen Milk turn quicker.
Yeah,
The guy can't turn. He's like got broken ankles. He cannot turn. So bless him, he got absolutely done, and Dubravka saved it. That was minute 1.
Yeah.
Minute 1. And I was watching the match. Honest to God, the fury I had to go outside. I had to go outside for 30 seconds to calm down because I was like, we were 1 minute in here. and we already should be 1-0 down. We don't even look tight.
I'm at work watching it. I've got my work screen there, and I've got another screen there watching it. I'm watching the full game.
I've been to work, by the way. That's why I don't like this. I wouldn't want to just come in here and just like this.
So I'm watching the game. I'm watching the full game, and I see Norwich get it halfway up the pitch, then lose the ball, time after time, and I'm thinking, we have to capitalise on this. We need to get this ball and take it forward, and we were. Hayden, prime example. He was winning that ball left, right, and centre. God knows how many people.
I missed it. I obviously watched the game. I missed this bit at the time, but he put a cross in that Kroll nearly carried over his line.
Oh yes,
Hayden does brilliant down
right. So he loses it first.
Does really, really well.
Unreal. He loses it first, and I think Kraft tries to defend it. He misses it. Then Hayden comes out nowhere and gets it back. Then he goes. Then he just a player tries to defend. He just runs around the outside of him.
Yeah.
Then he gets a ball. Great cross.
It was.
It looked like it was going in for a second as well.
Oh, it did.
That step back by Kroll, you think he's taking that back across the line. But even earlier than that was might be just after the Joe Linton.
I think it was just after.
Chance.
When he puts a ball at eye.
So was it Hayden again that puts the ball? Or Richie?
It was Hayden.
If you talk, the first chance of all was Kraft. So I do believe we should have been probably 1-0 down past.
So Richie's cross.
Yeah, so Richie's cross wasn't looking for Kraft, it was looking for Joe Linton, but it went past him. And I'm sure I've sat here and said this many times. I love it when the right winger or the right fullback follows in case they overhit the cross, you know. And Kraft got it, and he should probably score. I mean, let's be fair, he should score.
At least he's got excited, hasn't he?
He chested it. He had time to take another touch, really, but he didn't.
At that time, you're thinking, we're getting chances. You need to start burying these, and obviously that won't Kraft. He just hits that and hopes for the best.
As bad as we know the performance ended, and as bad as the result was, it was a garbage performance. There's an opportunity we could have been 2-0 up there. Yeah. I have to be honest, we could have been 2-0 up, and the game would not have been what it was, if that makes sense. So I'm not even trying. I don't even want to try and sound positive about how bad that was. But if you're going to look at the positives, there's 2 chances here that we should have scored. Definitely should have scored. And I think you've just said that Hayden was good. I honestly think Hayden and Dubravka were the only ones that could walk out there with the hell's hell.
Dubravka, you made a save from Pukki early on at his near post. With Pukki's, I don't know how it might even be not the same chance we're talking about. He somehow gets past 2 or 3 defenders. I think Scher's won him again, and there's just nothing even resembling a challenge on him. And he has a shot. Dubravka, I mean, if it goes in, it's a keeper's fault. But it's still a good save to make. And he did Dubravka.
Other than what you're saying, going back to what you said at the start, I believe he probably should have done better for the first goal.
So talk about the first goal. We might as well talk about it. We're here now. So Norwich is first.
Just before the first, I think there's a foul on Dummett for that corner.
It is. It is, right?
Was it Aaron's that pushed him?
So I agree with you. I agree with it to a certain extent, but I think Dummett should be sorting that out long before.
He's experienced. He's been in the first team.
So especially Dummett at home, you know what he does with that ball. Hoys it in the East stand every single time. Well, this time, it looks like he's just standing there waiting just for the ball to go out. Get rid of it. And I agree with you, it could have been a foul, but it wasn't. And I think Dummett does get a foot on it, and he tries to put it out for a throw-in, and he just completely slices it. So it goes out for a corner. The corner comes in, it gets cleared to a certain extent. Then it goes back out, comes back in.
Wasn't Deka getting more and more agitated as he
then I honestly getting so
the player, we know as football fans, I watched a few Norwich games last year. He's their key man. So Pukki is their key man. He's the one that you have someone defending. There's not a single person near him.
Do you know what makes it worse? One. And this is why I got even more angry. We had 11 players in the box. We had 11.
And there's not
every
one
single player we had was in that box, and not one's marking him. How is that happening, man? How is that happening? I don't know. To be fair, there's another lad next to him. There's actually 2 of them unmarked.
Because one has to get out of the way.
Yeah. Now everyone's criticising, from what I've seen anyway, people were criticising themselves for. I actually think his header away isn't too bad. I mean, don't get us wrong, it would be better if it was a bit further out, but he's done what he can.
All I understand defenders do in the box, as long as you're getting a head on that and getting it away from that danger area. 6-yard box.
I thought the criticism of Lascelles for that was a bit harsh.
Isn't it? And if I was Lascelles, I'd say, well, where the hell is anybody else? I mean, Lascelles has headed it away, and as you rightly say, he's standing unmarked. Hell of a strike. I kind of take
unbelievable connection. Just hits it.
Really, technique's amazing. Perhaps Dubravka maybe just wasn't expecting him to.
So it does go through a couple of players. So there is a couple of players, Blind and Dubravka. But what Besty was saying, he gets a full hand.
When you get a hand of it,
he does get a full hand.
It doesn't matter how hard a ball. Say if you get speaking as a goalkeeper, of course, an absolutely shite goalkeeper, but a goalkeeper nonetheless. If you get a hand on the ball like that, you've got to save it. Like I say, if Tim Kroll's in goal, that goes in. It's Kris Packard hands. I'm absolutely no doubt in my mind.
I think if you asked Dubravka out of every goal he conceded, I really think that would be the one you'd say I probably could have saved that.
Yeah, and
because he got a hand of it, as you say.
Yeah,
And you're right when you
I
say
do.
that.
I think Dubravka's a cracking goalkeeper. He's got a mistake in him, but no.
I would love to know how hard he's hit that ball and how fast that ball
was
went from
fast.
his foot, because
Oh,
he
it's a
hits
hit,
it like he
It
hits
was
it.
fast.
It's like Shearer's against Everton.
Yes.
It's a similar kind of hit.
It was, you're right. It was.
What was Richie's like last season?
Against Bournemouth.
Aye,
That's great
was
ball,
that
that.
similar?
Hell of a strike.
Oh, yeah, I similar
you know,
enough. I'd say, like, aye.
yeah, sure, aye. I agree with him, and I mean, obviously, I know Shiraz was miles out against Everton. But
Yeah.
you could tell by the technique, the way it come off his foot was very similar.
I think we might be being a little bit harsh to Dubravka though, because like
Well, maybe.
once
But
that hits his foot,
But if I was to
there's not much
Dubravka, I
stopping
would
it,
be
is there?
asking me defenders, well, I shouldn't even have to be dealing with this. Like, I'll be honest, I know,
Yeah.
we can say what you
Yeah.
want about having a hand on it, but we should have, well, the salesman in that header, we should have had him marked. You know what I mean?
Not
You prob-
100%.
You probably had him marked from the corner, probably, I'd hope. And
Mm.
then when the corner gets cleared, all of a sudden we've just switched off and thought, oh, we've cleared this. And the next thing you know, it's back into goal.
So you look at his season last season, that Pookie's fantastic season in the Championship.
29 goals, didn't he?
Aye,
Yeah.
Norwich gone for nout.
Literally,
Not a-
I think
not a
he was free.
penny.
He was a free. I was
Aye,
listening to,
free.
I think it was Ramble today. I'm sure he was a free agent from Bromby or something like that.
Aye, like didn't cost him a penny. So he comes in. He's 29 or something. Complete different model what we would ever go, because Mike Ashley, because he's too old.
But mind you,
He's taught us a
what
lesson.
fucking player.
He's
Jesus,
got an England call up with him.
where's he actually from?
What?
I'll set you up for these finish. Line there, like, no, I'm sorry, lads. Like, I've been fucking waiting all day for
I was
that.
thinking, I was like, is he finished?
He's not finished. He's 29.
He's a class player, though, isn't he? Do you know, honestly, his movement, man, is just
Oh, it
unreal.
is.
His
He's
New Zealand
superb.
foot, he's absolutely amazing, honestly. But if Joe Linton's worth 40 million, I reckon he's worth about 248.
No, all three goals are well taken. I mean,
Well,
the last two he took it off back Cantwell.
Aye.
He took off his toe end, and I mean, I'm not getting ahead of it, but they're all good finishes.
So after that first goal, I don't think we looked dangerous at all.
Well, this is
Go
when
for it.
the kind of the rot starts setting in. I mean, well, to be fair, sorry, I'll just go before the first goal. In fairness, right, I did expect a really tough 10-15 minutes, because I'm not trying to be awful, but it's their first home game, etc.
No, yeah.
And I did think, gee, we're going to have to really weather this storm here, which we did, because they had loads of chances in the first few minutes. We weathered that. We had two unreal chances ourselves, really did.
That Joe Linton one, that's
Yeah,
like
that's a, you know what I mean, that's a good chance.
Aye.
So Crafts is a hell of a chance. We probably could have been
Even
1 or 2.
Kroll thinks that Joe Linton one's in.
Yeah,
Oh,
You can
Yeah,
see by
yeah.
his reaction.
He's
He
been-
looks over his shoulder, man.
Aye.
Now the issue I've got here, and I'm gonna, this formation has to go. Like, it has to go, because we have absolutely nothing going forward.
There's no width at all.
There's no width. There's nothing, and it's bad. Now I have to be. I hate slagging players here now, apart from Key. Joe Linton was dreadful, right? And he couldn't trap a bag of cement. Nothing was sticking to him. But on the flip side of that, every time he was trying to control it, there's nobody around him.
There was a thing on Match of the Day where it's like what Shearer pointed out, where he's got the ball, he's won it in their half, 15 yards in the Norwich half, and there's literally 40 yards. There's an Newcastle player to him.
I couldn't
Then
watch matches today. I just couldn't
It's
physically.
taken me
bring
until
myself
this
to watch it.
afternoon, like 3 o'clock. I thought, right, I'm going to.
What did Shearer? I bet Shearer was gone.
I can't remember. I can't remember what he said exactly now. I kind of watched it and thought, oh,
But as you say, about 40 yards or so.
nothing. There's just nothing around him. And he kind of, I mean, it could be Rondon wouldn't be able to do it with that.
Exactly.
I'm not saying.
It's the same old story with this club, though. It's been like this for God knows how long now.
I was just thinking on the drive over there. When was last time we had consecutive seasons with the same bloke up top?
Up top. Demaball.
Nah, one season and he Pardew put him in the wing for Cisse.
Oh shit, I went brought Cisse.
Then Cisse had that one season and he was shite. Then Remy came in. Then Remy went.
was on loan, then he went.
Aye. Then you had Mitrovic, you had
We
Gale.
didn't even have Carroll. Oh, well, we had Carroll Championship and then Carroll bit in the Prem, then he left.
Oh, you had Mitrovic in Premier League, then Championship.
We didn't really play in the Championship, you had Gale.
Yes, I used to drop in the
Gale won the
Championship.
Championship.
Oh, you might be right,
Came
mate.
up at Hoslu, that season was Rondon. There's no continuity there at all.
You're right what you're saying.
And
like,
that's a
aye.
big thing. One of my big things for. I mean, I know Rondon's getting on. I mean, he's fucking £16 million. Absolute. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely absurd that I didn't even try to get him again this year for all this policy they've got and all that. The continuity that would have given you, even without Perez. If Rondon comes in, he knows how to play off Almiron, he knows how to play off. He knows what Richie's going to do. He knows what Shelby's going to do. He knows what Longstaff's going to. That's got to be worth. That's worth more than just £16 million. That.
But apparently there's wages, wasn't it? With
I've heard that. Like,
do you know what I think?
like you wanted like 100 plus thousand.
I was speaking to someone the day and they said a really valid point that I hadn't really thought of was with Rondon. If we were any intelligence with as a club, we should have signed him well before you know, any of this China business got mentioned. Obviously, when China had an opportunity of him going there, then all of a sudden the wages were astronomical. I really feel if we had took a gamble on him earlier, I mean, way earlier.
Well, that's a problem
You're right to get
because
him
it
for
was a
60
gamble,
grand.
wasn't it? Because the first half of the season, he didn't look
He
up to it.
struggled a bit,
Yeah.
didn't he?
Oh, he was absolute garbage. I'm not going to lie.
So I think
You
the
don't-
first half of the season, like I think we're looking at in the hindsight now how well he ended the season, along with Almeida and
That's
Perez.
fair. Like that could be fair.
I still think you knew one. I appreciate when he came, he looked overweight and all the rest of it. But once, I'm sure he scored against Watford pretty early, 1-0. I'm sure it was. And from then on, he really started kicking on, and you knew that there was a player there. I would certainly not even now have paid him 150 or whatever the shit he was wanting, because that is ridiculous.
It's a lot. It's too much. I
It's
think
fine.
I'm sure his first goal was November, because I'm sure there's a video of him.
Yeah.
He's doing the face thing. He's got a puppy on his shirt.
I'm sure that's Watford away.
Nah,
You know.
Watford was,
I'm sure it was Watford, wasn't it?
Watford was Perez. Keep out the free kick and Perez just flick it on.
No, that was it, away from home run down score. It was 1-0. It was a cracking header, brilliant header. Find it out, Adam. Honestly, it was.
I can't remember.
Brilliant
Remember.
header. Watford away last year, run down. Sure it was. But anyway, I appreciate both arguments there. You know, like that. Obviously, he didn't come good, run down yet. Hell of a goal. I just feel that I agree with what Besty's saying, that you're right about not having the same focal point up front. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to knock this lad too much, because what can that poor lad do, man?
Yeah.
I mean, the poor lad's probably fucking sick of his. I reckon he's sick of his life personally. He came off earlier on. He didn't want to be on the pitch, man.
Yeah.
And that's another sign. I reckon he's out for 2 weeks now. And I just feel that he probably doesn't want to play, as awful as it sounds.
But Bruce reckons he's going for extra. It was his hip, wasn't it? Apparently, I didn't see him go off, so I don't know what.
So he goes down in the second half. I think already 2-0 down at this point.
Yeah.
He goes off. He just all of a sudden he just sits on the deck. Did he just after the halfway line?
Yeah.
And that's when he goes.
He says he's going for an extra.
Yeah.
It's
So
just,
their second goal. How did their second goal start? Can't even remember that one.
Was
the
it-
second and third one?
The second one's
identical almost.
Campbell's got the ball with 25 yards out. I can't pronounce Scher's name. Scher's like snipping around him, but just doesn't get a foot in. And in the end, it goes to Pruki, who's like stood left of the penalty area, hits it,
Yeah.
goes through Kraft's legs. I think Lascelles kind of does that. Scher does that, and Dubravka.
This is one where Dubravka goes wild at the defenders, isn't he?
Dubravka's kind of I think he's going to his left, and then he's trying to
Yeah.
go, and he just can't get a distance, get the ball. It's just it's a bad goal to I mean, there's not a good goal to concede, is it?
If you
but it was
on that one again, I was saying it worked the day that the Premier League channel. Honestly, honestly, right. So the first clip was the Norwich highlights, right? So I thought, well, I'll watch it because we're talking about it. Second was the full show of Premier League years, and it was when we blew the 12-point lead, right?
if that makes sense, I was going to watch it.
After that, Norwich again. I was like, it's been a brilliant day. But that goal, you have to see it in midfield, how we're just not anywhere. We're not anywhere. And one of them lads passes the ball, he actually overhits his pass, and we're so slow to react. I think it's the lad, number 14, could play him, just gets it and runs out, just runs straight outward, basically. But Shaw, again, or Shea, however you want to pronounce it, miles out of position, man.
Yeah.
Just
Like I say,
miles away from anything.
They've got the line, you've got Kraft right back, Lascelles there, and obviously Domitilla here somewhere. And Scher starts off like a good 10 yards in front of that line.
Easy. Now, I sent you a thing, I don't know if you've seen this, right? After the game, they reckon, well, so they say, Shelby and King never made a tackle.
I've seen it mentioned, I've not seen
No, they didn't win a single tackle.
To me, Hayden's right wing. I have to be really honest here. Hayden, to me, isn't centre midfield, he just seems to be a right winger. Why I didn't know. If your centre midfielders aren't winning a tackle, fuck me. You're done for, man. You're done for. Now, is that why Shea's going? Do you know what it is? I'm going to fucking move into midfield here and try and put fires out. It almost looked like that's what he was doing, as if he was pissed off that no one was winning anything in midfield, and he's just charging up to try and tackle someone, and then we got done.
Yeah.
We got absolutely done.
Totally. But again, that wasn't happening last season.
No,
for the most part, they were keeping that shape, and
Right.
you've got to move on from Rafa. And I agree that you kind of have, but you've always got to. I think 2 games next season, you're always going to compare stuff to what's happened immediately previously, and that the way the team set up there, the way they defended, every defender knew their jobs last season, season before, championship, whatever. Sure, I've said all the way through that Lascelles is playing above himself for the manager. I think Scher was £3.5 million for a reason. You know, there's a reason he looks
it now.
Yeah, this season he has done so far, and I think Benitez got that out of him, where Bruce doesn't appear to have. And so I saw someone make a point. Oh well, they should remember that of last season because that's not how it works.
I have to be honest here, I'm totally wrong then, because I actually sat here and said that I think sometimes when you sign a player, it's also for their experience. Like, you know, I'm not saying now, but let's say you sign John Terry. I'm signing John Terry because I know he knows how to defend.
Yeah.
I would imagine. So I thought that some of the defenders would have learned things from Rafa. I thought, that'll stay with me for the rest of my career. I've learned something from. It appears to me football has been learned.
It depends on one of the reasons that he got rid of Mbemba was Mbemba just wouldn't listen to what he said. But Benitez has got this really specific way of setting up defences and even going forward midfielders, defence in the front. I've sat through games, we know. And I think every game I was there. I think you met with all, didn't you, at the training ground.
Yeah.
And the one where when I was there, it was this thing we were playing Derby, and this dossier came out, and obviously you couldn't take photos because it's this fucking. Remember the thing I got leaked for that time where it was Mourinho managing Chelsea, and it was Garrett Robbie had it in Newcastle, and it was similar to that, but it was his dossier, and he has what to do when that happens, and without that level of intricacy, I don't think. I think that's something that maybe Benitez might have, and I've got a feeling they're all saying, "Oh, training's great at the minute," because they're not having to do that, because they're just playing football.
Yeah,
I think it might be simple. Oh, training's brilliant because we're not being bored with fucking tears off, stand there and having the game's not every 2 minutes, right? Why is something?
He's almost like an absolute utter dog shit Keegan. Like in terms of
that's kind of what
his attitude. His attitude. I'll get slagged for saying Keegan Bruce, but that attitude of let's play football. Let's, you know what I mean?
Yeah, enjoy it.
Yeah, I play football, express yourself a bit more, blah blah blah. But as you're saying, football's moved on since them days of just being a ball around.
I think when Keegan came back, I remember at the time I am thinking that the game's moved on. What you just said there, and the same now. Keegan wouldn't be able. I don't think he'd be able to cut it now.
No.
It's a completely different beast.
Keegan probably realises that now.
Yeah.
Hence why
he's
And I agree that the level of detail would have been unbelievable for one Rafa. There's absolutely no doubt about it.
I was listening to, I think it was the James Richardson podcast, what's it called, Totally Football Show, and we were talking about how Liverpool played at Southampton at the weekend, and how, what's his name, Klopp wouldn't have been too happy with playing that late on the Wednesday, Thursday, whatever it was, because you've only got a couple of days to prepare for the next game. And preparing for the next game, it's that kind of thing. You're looking at who was it, Danny Ings, what he's going to do, what's I was going to see Sheila, even so I don't know, but you can't just play your game and expect to win. You've got to react to how the other team plays. And if you haven't got that level of detail, especially the players who I think I said last year, the year before, a lot of our championship level players who have been lifted by a tactician being in charge of them.
I've got an interesting thing to say. I think I text Kris about this, right? Not Norwich's team, and I don't mean to be awful here, but that team was what then got promoted with.
Yeah.
And they've rewarded them players that have got them promoted with a chance of and I think that's great, fair enough. Under Rafa, under anyone, right? I've never seen us play football like them did.
No.
And I'm sorry, they're a championship team. And them, they were unreal, man. I mean, as bad as we were bad, the pass and move and the sheer confidence and I thought they were a joy to watch.
Even against Liverpool, they got at Liverpool first game of the season.
And I remember I was watching thinking, we've never played like this ever.
No.
And for all you can say that the championship players and blah 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 blah, them are a championship team.
They played with confidence, didn't they?
Oh, loads. But that they seem to really, I don't know, like triangle football. You know what I mean? They were just knocking around. We weren't even on the pitch. I have never seen us knock around like that ever.
I couldn't name you. About that. I couldn't name you probably 7 of their first team.
I agree. I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
Two of the ones I could name were Hanley and Crow played for us.
Yeah.
For Christ's sake, man, we're just getting spanked off a team of grand fucking Hanley, man. Man.
Shelby's goal. I've just seen Shelby's goal for the first time at 3 o'clock. And Shelby's more or less stood still. Hanley runs past him.
He does that.
Over.
Yeah. He does.
It's
something I'd see at 5-a-side at the park. You know what I mean?
It's the two slowest players in the Premier League. Hanley beats Shelby. Shelby gets a bit over.
It's like Hanley's just come out like the Walter or something like that. I think he's giving a 6 now. It's a shite. I saw someone, I think on Twitter or Facebook, why couldn't it play a whole game? And it was a pass from Shelby to Longstaff. Longstaff to Shelby in the box.
Great pass from Longstaff.
It was a good ball, wasn't it? But Shelby controls it, shifts his weight, and Hanley falls over. He's like,
you're right.
Champion, get in there. I've got a side foot here. It's hard to gauge where Norwich are because Liverpool put 4 passes in the first half last week. I think Norwich had the most shots anyone's had at Anfield.
Oh, they could have scored 2 or 3 themselves. Yeah. Easy.
And then Norwich have just played us, and we are relegation fodder in my eyes, completely.
That's opened my eyes. So that performance has opened my eyes because we went on that thing in Manchester that week, and I don't think it's as bad as what people are thinking. We'll probably finish 15th, 16th. Yeah. Now I'm worried. After that, I'm worried now.
Yeah, all right.
Are you not?
No, I'm worried. League One standard. But I still believe, honestly, that Cardiff game last season was as bad as that, we just didn't lose. That Cardiff game was
terrible, mind.
Awful.
It was a horrible game, man. It was
one of the worst I could ever remember. Was that Cardiff game, and I remember watching it with my mate, and I was just sitting.
Is that just being boring though, or is that lack of quality?
We never had a shot. Apart from Kennedy's
Apart from
penalty.
Penalty,
Honestly,
he
when
even
they
got
had-
sent off. He was on for 5 minutes.
God, we couldn't pass a ball, man. We couldn't pass a ball. I mean, don't get us wrong. Saturday wasn't much better than that either, like, but it was up there with that.
Like, Norwich are a better team than
Yeah,
Cardiff
that's what I
as well,
mean.
I agree there
That's what I
totally
mean.
as well.
Cardiff and Newcastle were both shit.
Norwich would have spanked that Cardiff team at that
Exactly.
point. And
I think the season before as well was Huddersfield away, 1-0, got beat first away game. Aaron Moy scored that one. They were shit that day as well.
shite, really bad.
But as bad as they were those days, they always looked.
Organised.
Aye.
Well, you've only lost 1-0, well, sorry, we didn't even lose the Cardiff game, but yeah, I understand what you're
Yeah.
saying.
So under Rafa, you'd think we've gone 1-0 down. I'll be like, I'm okay. Like I'm okay with this. I went
You
when
kind
we
of
went 1-0 down. Bruce, I thought, shit, that's gone now.
Well,
Gone.
two times in a row we've been 1-0 behind, and I've thought
Gone.
the second that goals went in, we've lost. That's
Yeah.
it. I have no faith in us being able to get back into the game at all. And the reason for that is the formation and the way that we're. Almiron is coming so far deep for that ball.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing.
So I mentioned Almiron's position last week against Arsenal, but we'll get on that more in the question I won't answer because there's a lot of questions about Almiron and the formations.
Right.
There's like 40 odd replies or something to the questions. But we're not doing 40 questions, just let you know we're not doing that many.
Yeah. Well, I'll do it.
Have you got anything else for this game? On a scale of 1 to 10, how worried are you right now?
10 being worried.
Yeah.
11.
Yeah, I'm off the scale now.
I'm not worried I've accepted it. I think
Really?
you
You got to accept it before we kick a ball, mate.
I was pretty before season start, wasn't I? For all the I was all Bruce out and stuff on Saturday, and he shouldn't have the job. He's well up his depth. If they'd have nothing, if they sacked Bruce, they'd have nothing to lose. But I don't trust them to get the right bloke in. They wouldn't. It would be someone like Pulis, or they'll go for Allardyce again.
It's not going to be a.
There's a question about this. There's a question.
All right.
There's a
It's
question.
difficult then.
Because
I agree with you.
when you get names like, I mean, Fabregas having a fucking horrible time in Monaco at the minute, but like Vieira got mentioned. There's exciting managers make you think, they sound exciting because Vieira was a player,
Yeah.
he wasn't. I mean, it doesn't always work like that. But there's someone with different ideas. You know what Steve Bruce is. Steve Bruce was a lower half Premier League manager with Sunderland, with Birmingham, with Wigan briefly.
And dropped the
And now
championship.
he went to Villa, he got sacked in Villa less than a year ago for not being good enough. Dean Smith came and they won the playoffs, didn't they?
Sorry, yeah.
The playoffs they won. I really don't want to dislike Steve Bruce because he's had a really shitty couple of years and all that. I think he did the dirty on Sheffield Wednesday a little bit.
I think everyone agrees with you at that point.
I don't even hate myself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he does. He does. And I find him hard to dislike, but at the same time, I really hate him. Like I've got such a.
I'll be honest, I don't hate him, I don't dislike him. I think he comes across well, and every time I've heard him speak.
I totally agree with
I
that.
think he's took the job like any I would. If they offered to me tomorrow, I'd be there, and I'd take whatever heat was at us.
I'll take you right now, mate. I'll be honest.
I would take the job, of course I would. But I
dress
think
better.
anybody would. I definitely dress better.
I hate that. That's one of my bugbears. That.
The way he dresses.
Cover attire.
Got to be shirt and tie, suit.
Well, the things he wears during the interviews, after the match of the day, he's got a collar on, so I think, looks like smart enough, like, you know what I mean? But then during the game, it's, who else was it? Carver did it. Like, even going back to Glen Road, we wore like the scarf with the shit. You think that's smart, that's alright, that do that.
Smart, like
Rafa always wears little pin badge and stuff like that, and it looks
the
great.
pin badge, yeah.
And like, I hate seeing managers in leisure wear. I hate pre-season for that reason. You get managers that, like, Pep does it, or Pep wears some fucking horrible cardigans. Like, Mourinho would wear, like, his Man U training or Chelsea, whatever, t-shirt, and like what Sarri did last year. And it just looks fucking rubbish. If you're a manager, wear a suit.
I don't know why they wear leisure wear. Like,
But when Bruce wears
why?
a suit, though, he looks like he's been in a christening all day and he's pissed.
You just take his time.
buttons done,
Every
tie
time
round
he
his
does,
head.
like, every time I see him get in, I think you've just been on the piss. I'll later christening. He
I
just
think
doesn't.
when you're the shape that Steve Bruce is, and I speak from a man who is the shape that Steve Bruce is, it's hard to get a suit that looks good on you. Like, you know, when you see Daniel Craig and Bond, and it's all slim cut and all, I think, looks alright, that. Like, that doesn't work for the big lads. Like, it doesn't work. I couldn't do what Decker's wearing now, like, no way. And I think it's nice and smart as well. You know,
Thanks, mate. I appreciate that. Thank you.
But no, it's not a.
Work. But no, I agree. I will be honest. I'm terrified because under Rafa, you might have lost 10, 11 games in a row, whatever it might have been. You still always had that faith, didn't you? That, you know, it's the last time that Rafa's got the tools to be able to turn it around. He'll sort it. I have no. Well, I've just admitted it myself. We went 1-0 down. I don't think we're going to come back again. No. So what does that then tell us? I know what I'm already thinking. You know, it's just fucking ridiculous, man. It's just.
It happened against Arsenal. Like you said, when 1-0 down, they brought St Maximin on, and he just didn't seem to have a position, and there was no like structure going forward. Or it was just like, I'll go on and see it, score a goal, and that's even. That's what I think. That's what Almiron struggled with this year as well a bit. He's playing off Joe Linton, like about 50 yards off him, but you know, off Joe Linton, and like he was great in the first half against Arsenal. He caused him bother. He had that bit dive, like, which we'll kind of gloss over a bit.
Yeah.
But again, on Saturday, I can't remember having the ball that much.
I still struggle with you've got three. You don't need to have three centre midfielders and then three centre halves, right? But
Yeah, I agree.
if you're playing three centre midfielders, I cannot believe that the only person that's available is Almiron. It seems to be every time Shaw gets a ball, he's looking, he's asking for people. It's Almiron. So Almiron's had to run 50 yards to come and get the ball. So where's Shelby? Where's Key? I don't understand where these players are, and it really annoys us that. I just don't understand it. I just don't understand it. Sorry, I just don't. And it really pisses. I'm getting so angry already. Yeah, like I'm just fucking had enough. I've had enough. I fucking have, honestly. It just fucks us off so much, you know. How much I love the club and I want them to do well. I even want Bruce to do well. I just want Wood to do well. I don't give a fuck who it is. I just want Wood to do well.
There's nothing would make me happier than if all of a sudden Ashley went, right, I'm going to do this properly. And Ashley did it properly and Bruce says, I'll look and do this. And I'd love to win the league with Ashley owning and Bruce as manager, but it just isn't going to happen.
Oh, God, no.
It's Ashley's shown his hands so many times. I was reading the Sunday Sun again. I should be getting money for advertising, yeah.
Commission, yeah.
That's what it's called. And it was next to the match report was a little sidebar, and it was how happy Charlie is that they've had the Asia Cup thing and that they're getting the brand out there in China. It's like that's all it comes down to. The football's fucking horrible. The manager's not good enough. I hate him, but I don't dislike him.
How much more that brand would have went out if Rafa was in charge?
Yeah, alright. Well, he's over there now doing it, and he's living it.
See, for me, I'm all for that in terms of like getting the brand out there. I'm all for it if we knew it was for the right reason.
If you're doing well.
Yeah.
If we know it's not for the right reason.
Yeah.
I'm all for making the club more, accessible to the world and understanding who we are, but we all know it's not for the right reason, and that's why.
Especially when you look at the Wolves model. Wolves went on the same tournament and look where they are now compared.
Well, you've got a Peruvian newspaper, Nobby on the front there, and like Newcastle massive improve for 5-6 years. Because
I still see what Bournemouth would do for that reason, personally.
I think you're probably right. I think Key probably did the same thing.
Yeah, but anyway, fuck it. We're shit.
We're shit, and they just want to make money. That's it.
We're in it, yeah. Thanks to Guillermo for calling. Thanks to Geordie Gifts for sponsoring the podcast. You do get discounts on both their websites, and they will be in the description below. And we'll see you in the question and answer. Deka's gone. Was this close?